Hi Dina, how are you?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. How's your week been?
My week's been good. I've been working and cleaning the house and going for walks. It's been good.
Good. How did you get on with the anchoring last week?
Yeah, really good. If ever I've been a bit stressed, I've been going back to my happy place. So yeah, no, I think it's worked. It's been good.
That's good. What you've got to do with the anchoring, like every time you feel that sense of joy again, if you keep doing the same physical motion that you did to anchor the feeling, then it'll keep getting stronger and stronger. But that will just be like a process. But I'm glad that you're getting on well with it. That's good news. So this week we was going to talk about say different kinds of conflicts that we have with people. So conflicts are just part of life. Unfortunately, we've all got different opinions and like values and beliefs. So not everyone is ever going to agree on like a certain situation or a viewpoint. So basically, what a conflict is, it's just a clash of interest, and it can happen at any like given time. It can be to do with race, class, political, personal or work relationships and issues. Have you had any conflicts recently that you'd like to discuss?
Um, I've got two that always come to mind. One of them was a while ago, and the other one was about 20 years ago, but they're both ones that I'll never forget. So they always come to mind whenever I think of a conflict.
Yeah. And when you do have a conflict or a disagreement with someone, do you find it difficult to move past it, or can you quite easily kind of like forgive and forget? How would you say you're like what you're like in arguments, for instance?
I do like to draw a line under things, but it depends who I'm having the conflict with. Because sometimes you're ready to move on, but they're not. In which case,
Yeah.
then it does give you that you try, and then you give up trying. But otherwise, no, I appreciate other people's points of view. So yeah, I would draw a line under it. Oh, I do try to.
Yeah. So there's actually like three different types of conflict. So you can have internal conflicts with yourself. So say if you feel like you're not living your life in like the way that you want to, so in line with your values and your beliefs. So say you're really into, I don't know, say like yoga, meditation, and fitness, but then you're going out and you're drinking and smoking all the time. So you're not living in line with what you actually want to be doing. Or you can have conflict with other people. So say if your values and perspectives, bless you, get sort of like, I don't know, disagreed upon, then some people can get a little bit funny about that. Or you can have conflicts when there's a discomfort and a fear of the unknown. So today we're going to go through an external conflict, so with you and another person. So which situation would you like to talk about?
Um, I'd have out of the two of them, one of them I think is more interesting, but wouldn't take long to talk about. Whereas the other one, I'd have more to say about. So
Okay. It's what anyone that you feel more comfortable with talking about. So basically, we're going to do a technique called perceptual positions, and it basically allows you to kind of explain the situation and go back to that specific time and let me know how you're behaving, how you're feeling, how you're thinking, and actually talk to the person that you're having conflict with and say everything that you'd like to say. And then you'll then step into another position whereby you'll be the person that you're having conflict with. So I know it'll probably be hard, but you've got to try and leave your opinions at the door and just go into that position as with like a fresh pair of eyes and try and understand things from that person's point of view. And then the third position is as though you're a fly on the wall. So you've got a completely neutral perspective. You can analyse both people and just give more of a sort of generalised opinion of what's going on at that time. But part of the technique, so you actually have to, it's more effective if you physically move to different places in your room to be these different characters, just so it just like helps you sort of embody the person more. And then once we're done, you'll kind of bring all of your learnings and new teachings back to the present day to try and resolve the conflicts and move forward. Okay. So with conflict, everyone has different paths. Everyone has like different values and perceptions of the world. Like we're all really different based on what's happened to us in the past. So like conflict is inevitable, but you just need to be able to learn to kind of move past it or just find some sort of common grounds to get to the bottom of it. The most important thing is to find a resolution, because the more that you're ruminating the same thing over and over again, it's just going to cause you more harm and the relationship's never going to fix. But all conflict isn't bad, because there's usually a solution at the end of it, and you can both grow and learn and kind of compromise on like how you both feel. So did you want to find a position in the room to play yourself?
I'll stay where I am to play my.
Okay, that's fine. Cool. And how about the other person?
I'll just move around the room.
Okay. And then the final wall. Okay, you don't need to move your camera. If you just kind of let me know when you're at my next position, that'll be great. Okay, so this one, right, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and ground you. We're going to try and just ground you in the present moment, so you're more in tune with what's going on now, and then you're going to step into the situation being yourself. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I think I understand.
So what you do is we'll just do some deep breaths from your belly. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out for 5. Breathe in for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out for 5. Breathe in for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Right. I want you, now you're in a neutral space, I want you to firmly step into position 1 and become you. So please explain the situation to me, everything that's going on at this moment, everything you can see, hear and feel.
My daughter has just come home from work, and I've noticed that her personality has changed somewhat over the past few months when she's in work and when she comes home. And one particular day she came home and just explained what's been going on at work. She was being bullied by another member of staff who was the same age as me. So I have to become the role of the protector now. So after she'd explained everything that she'd been going through, I thought now it was a mental health assessment. So I thought it was time for me to step in. So I went round to the workplace and I went and confronted or asked the reasons why this lady was treating her the way she was. I went, made an appointment to see her, and she came into the office, and I explained to her who I was. And she had a bit of an attitude when she met me anyway. And I just asked her why, after I'd given her a list of all the things that I know that she'd been doing to my daughter for the previous 3 to 6 months that she'd been working there. And I just asked her why she did what she did. Took a long time for her to explain. I think she was quite taken aback that I'd even bothered going. And that I think she's still a child, but at 18 years of age, that she wouldn't have come home and told me. But I knew there was something wrong because of the personality change. And I just told her that I thought it was childish, it was cruel. And she had a daughter exactly the same age as who she was doing the bullying to, my daughter. And I just asked her if the roles had been reversed, how she would feel if I was going to be the one who was doing these mental and somewhat, not necessarily physical, but taunting things to her that she was doing to my daughter.
Yeah. So what did she say in that time?
She said that it had all been taken out of perspective and that it wasn't as bad as was made out. And I always think that when you're approaching somebody who has done wrong or is not telling the truth, is to always get the people involved together so that we can aim to, just to get the truth out of everybody. Nobody can do lying or anything.
Yeah.
I had the conversation with the three of them, and she asked for Danielle to leave. And then she broke down and said that she had problems at home with her husband and her daughter, and that maybe she was using you as a firing block to get rid of some of the horrible tension that she had.
Yeah.
Which I thought was absolutely ridiculous. But she was just explaining that, because I said to her she needed to go to some kind of therapy or something and to leave my child alone, and what it was doing to her at the time is what her children and her husband were doing to her. So it was just a knock-on effect. She was just giving all the horrible vibes that she was getting from home and moving them onto you, which in time affected me as well.
Yeah. Okay. Did you feel like you ever got any kind of closure on this situation?
No, the closure was that my daughter left the left the business where she was working because she just couldn't handle it anymore. I think the lady, I think she got finished from that job actually, because I did put a formal complaint in about her to the CEO of the business. So that was that. It took a long time for my daughter to get her confidence back, though. In fact, she never has had it back all the time. And in the workplace, it has carried on throughout her working career that if she has like a slight confrontation, or not even a confrontation, a different of opinions, it still affects her, even today.
So how did that like make you feel as like a mum?
As a mum, I wanted to go around there and punch the lights out like you do when having your child come home and crying. And I thought of all the different reasons why she could be doing it. I thought she must be having problems at home. She's either that or a very nasty lady, or she was jealous of the fact that my daughter was new to the business and an attractive lady, and maybe probably got some male attention, but thinking that this woman was the same age as me,
Yeah.
I just couldn't understand it. And I suppose in the end, I felt sympathy for her.
Yeah.
Not for the situation that she put my child in.
Right. Thank you for being so descriptive. What we're going to do now is we're going to actually pretend that you're in this moment again to try and get some more clarity, and I'll be giving you a list of questions about like what's happening in that moment, and you will direct any questions that you have to the other person as if you're there right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this situation, in relation to the problem, I need you, everything that you tell me now needs to be as if you're in that moment and we're not in the room right now. So you can close your eyes if you'd be more comfortable with that, but you just need to try and really embody what's happening right now in your head. Okay, so how are you behaving in this situation?
I'm very quite calm and controlled.
Okay.
Because I like to step above anybody else when it comes to conflict. I like to think I can resolve something by not getting shouty, by not swearing, and I'm not going to be like that when I approach this lady. So
yeah, so you're feeling like calm and controlled. You, even though you're that on the outside, internally, do you feel a little bit more like hyped up, a little bit more like adrenaline? Is that running, or are you quite composed?
well, I do feel that, but I'm trying to channel that into the discussion with her.
Yeah.
So I channel my anger that's in my tummy into a grown-up conversation rather than belittling myself and screaming, shouting, and
yeah. Okay, right, that's fine. So what do you believe about the situation? Like what, but this doesn't have to be addressed to the person, but I mean, like what's your beliefs about what's happening right now? What do you think? I know you've already touched on it, but what do you believe is like beneath all of this that's going on?
I just think that she is bringing her problems from home and redirecting them to a lovely young lady who's new to the business that's getting attention. She obviously isn't getting any of the attention from her husband, and I think her daughter was looking back now. I've heard that her daughter was more on her dad's side than hers. So I think she was channeling. Maybe my daughter looked like her. I don't know. All I know is that I've never had really clarification as to why she did it, but all I can think of, I surmise, I'm just surmising all the time. But for her to have, which I believe she was terminated from work, there must have been more to it. I think maybe she had a history of it, in which case she has got a problem if she's a bully like that. Maybe a stem back to childhood, I don't know. But
yeah. Okay. How are you feeling in this situation? You've already, yeah, I guess you're feeling quite calm, as you said, for your behaviour, didn't you?
I'm feeling, as I feel like I'm talking to her right now, I feel like I am in complete control of the conversation. And
yeah.
if anything, I am so direct to her that she is like stuttering, and because I'm face to face with her. And when I've just said to her about me doing it to her daughter, in the ideal world of her having the same relationship as I've got with my daughter, it made her upset. So there was obviously some underlying issues in her personal life that made her do what she was doing. And that's when I sympathised somewhat. But then knowing that what I know now is that it's just had a massive impact on my child's personality. So I have nothing but pity for her, really.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Also, what is important to you in this moment?
Is for to see her suffering the way that I've suffered. And I've obviously hit a nerve, and it's important for her to realise from a third party exactly what she's put you through. What she put my daughter through. So I'm satisfied, and I'm feeling as if she deserves this. To me is like a sentence for her. This is what she deserves, to go through some kind of either embarrassment or pain or whatever. So I'm feeling quite controlled.
Okay, and what is there for you to learn situation?
What is there for me to learn from this situation?
Yeah.
And to always, if anything, there's ever anything that goes wrong, to always keep calm and go and try and sort any problems out. Not everybody can like everybody in this world. You can be the nicest person ever, but there's always going to be a conflict of personalities because we're all so different. And if that's all it is, take things personal, which is what I tried to say to my daughter. Not everyone's going to like you all the time, even though you are a very likable person. It's just to accept the fact that you're not compatible and just move on. Just always be kind, always be polite, and not be rude to anybody. But if you're not going to like anybody, don't go down the bullying road. Just have nothing to do with them. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you need to say to this person? Say it out loud. Any last words that you want to say, or something to just kind of like move forward, even if you're not in this situation right now. Just something that could maybe change the way she is, or make you feel better that you've kind of got it off your chest. You need
just like to
you need to direct it to the person as if you're speaking to them now.
I'd just like to say to you, I've had to come here today to confront the person who has done this to my child, to say how sorry I feel for you. You've obviously got nothing better to do in your life than to aim nothing but abuse to a young girl. And I hope that you can live with yourself. And I hope that none of this turns around and affects your family the way it's affected mine. But we're a lot bigger than you, and we will move on. Goodbye.
Good, Dina. Right, have a little shake around. You're done now in your position. How do you feel? Do you feel like a weight lifted?
Yeah, I feel good.
Okay, lovely. So this is going to be the tough bit now. So you've actually got to go into position 2. and embody the lady that you were speaking about. Even though you might not want to kind of completely go into this person the way that they're thinking and feeling and behaving, but it's important for the purpose of the exercise just to kind of really try and see things through that person's point of view. So do you feel ready to do that? So the main purpose here is to see things from their perspective, just to find some sort of common ground for you both to kind of be able to move on from this situation. Okay, so if you'd please like to step into position number 2.
Okay.
Okay, so do you feel okay there? Does everything feel right?
Yeah, I'm in the room with her, so I'm fine.
Okay. So yes, so basically you're in the other lady's shoes and you can see Dina, and you're actually in the situation right now. Okay, so how are you behaving in this situation?
I feel good. I like the way that I'm bothering her. I like the way that I know she quivers before she comes into work. She's just annoying, this girl. And I'm going to do my best to make her leave the company.
Okay.
Why should she be all smiley and lovely every day? Why? Has she got the monthly unhappiness? No, that's not going to happen.
I know that this is really hard and you probably are finding it hard to step into the shoes, but do you definitely think that this lady was a bully? Do you think there was no, like, is there no way that she could possibly, I think everyone kind of has a positive intention, even if their behaviour and their actions don't show it. We just need
mitigating circumstances as to why she was doing what she was doing. But who knows? Who knows why people do what they do? Either they have got a bullying streak, a jealous streak inside them, or whether or not my daughter was a trigger. I don't know. You know, it's just something that we're not going to know about with her.
Okay. So how are you feeling in this situation?
That I'm going to give this young girl grief every day she comes into work. I feel powerful.
How are you feeling confronting her mum right now?
I feel strong. Suddenly she's hit a raw nerve. I felt quite defensive and strong when she came in the room and started questioning me. But then she hit a nerve and it deflated me somewhat.
Okay, and what do you feel about this situation?
First time anyone's ever me, so I felt defensive at first, but now I feel shame about what I've done. I didn't realise it was affecting the young girl as much as it was.
Okay. And what's important to you right now? Do you want to solve the conflicts? Would you like to move forward? Or
I want to apologise. I don't want to fully explain why I did what I did, but I want to apologise and make sure it doesn't happen again. There are reasons why I behave like I do, but I didn't realise. I thought this girl was stronger than she was, so obviously not. I want to draw a line under it. I know she'll never want to be friends with me, but I'm going to stop the nastiness now. It's not right.
okay, so the main thing for you is to draw a line under it. You can't take away the past. What's happened now has happened, but you'd like to draw a line and just move forward. What have you learned from this situation?
That my nastiness can cause immense stress to other people.
Yeah.
And I learn now that I need to get some help. I need to get some help. It all stems from my home life, and I'm just bringing it into the workplace, and anybody or anything or that I think is a threat, I am just being horrible to. I just need to get some help.
And is there anything that you'd like to say to Dina at this time? Like, you've heard what Dina's had to say to you. Is there anything you'd like to say to her?
I want to obviously apologise and maybe even thank her for having the courage to come and confront me.
Okay, I'd like you to say that as if you're speaking to Dina right now.
Thank you. Thank you for making me aware of how bad I'm being for that. Thank you isn't the right word, really, but I am so, so desperately sorry.
Okay.
There is no excuse, but there are reasons why I do what I do and I behave like I do. And I know you really don't want to know that, but I am going to go and get some help, and I will never, ever be horrible to her again, ever.
Okay. Right, lovely. So if you'd like to have a little shake out and move out of position 2. How did that feel?
I feel good.
Okay. Right, so the final step is to go into position 3 where you're a fly on the wall. So you've just got a really neutral perspective of what's going on. You're just seeing the event as it's happening right now. So you're there, you can see Dina and the other lady speaking. No judgment. You've just kind of got to give your opinion from a neutral state. So if you'd like to step into position 3. Hopping along the sofa. Okay, so remember, this is a fly on the wall position. You must have no emotional involvement, complete outsider. So what is your view of the situation?
At the moment, the bully is sat down and is stood up. So obviously Dina's taking control of the situation at the moment. The bully is stuttering and looks very uncomfortable, sweating slightly, and has asked Dina to sit down so that they are both at the same level, so it's not quite so intimidating. But Dina will not sit down until she's said what she needs to say. She's very cool, very calm, and once she's put her message across, then she'll sit down and have fun. She's obviously wants to air her emotions while she's stood up and in control before she sits down and hears the reasoning behind what.
Okay. What else is going on in this situation? Where are they? Is it a tense environment?
It was very tense. Now she said what she said. She's just said, "Who the hell are you?" And I understand you've got a child the same age as mine, and why would you do these things? And I'm going to report you, and if need be, I'm going to go to the police about you. And the other woman's she was quite standoffish. She's getting a little emotional, and Dina's sat down now. And there's a distance between them. But Dina's still in control of the situation. Somebody's just walked in asking if we're not, they needed a third party, and we both said that we didn't. We're adults and we're going to try to sort this one. It has calmed down, but the bully now is getting emotional, as if she's been caught with her fingers in the cookie jar, because I don't think for 1 minute she felt that Dina was going to approach her or even come to the office. Caught her unawares, I think.
Okay. So, from your opinion, they're both behaving quite kind of mature in a sense. There's no raised voices.
One's a controller and one's being controlled right now. So obviously Dina's the controller, one that's gone in there looking for reasoning, and the bully is for once being controlled by someone who is older and more capable and less vulnerable.
Okay, and how do you think they're both feeling at this time?
The bully is, first of all, looked as if she was looking a bit cocky and full of herself, and in denial, defending, and then she was taunted into behaving like she was. But now she's come full circle, and now she's in regret, and Dina's kind of like gone from the controller into listening a little bit more. Obviously, Dina didn't realise how much impact this had on her daughter's life. But at the time, in this office now, it looks as if she's being a little bit, has a tiny bit of sympathy for the woman.
Okay, and what beliefs do you think they're both using? Because obviously in arguments, people can kind of, even regardless of whether the person's right or wrong, people tend to kind of just focus on themselves being right. Do you think, like you said earlier, the other lady was maybe coming across a little bit intimidating at first, and then she kind of come across quite vulnerable? Obviously, she had her own issues at that time. But do you think that, so Dean is coming, like your dignitaries are coming a bit more understanding to maybe the other lady's emotions, and vice versa?
At the end of the meeting, maybe, but obviously Dina's gone in there as a protector for her child, so she's not going to go in there. Although she's a very controlled lady, she's still got the fire in her tummy, and obviously she could only respond to the actions of the bully. It depended on how the personality was of the bully. She'd never met the woman before, so she could have got quite aggressive. She could have got, who knows? And she was quite hyped up at first, but then she was, as I said before, she was then she wasn't the controller anymore. She was being controlled by Dina, and I think that she got the what she was deserved, but also I think it was a bit like a therapy session for her. She realised that she was impacting on someone else's life, so much so that the family had to get involved and that she had to sort something out. So I think good came from it for her. Satisfaction came from it from Dina, I think, the fact that she had to go and face this woman head on and find out why.
Vince, what do you think is important to both of them?
I think is
important to both of people in the situation.
I think it was important for the bully to acknowledge that she was being a bully,
Yeah.
Moving forward, she could try and stop herself or get help. And I think for Dina, maybe she should have understood the signals from her daughter slightly earlier, so it never got as out of hand as it did.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you think, what is there to learn from this, from an outside perspective with no emotional attachment?
That it's always best to confront anybody. Conflict doesn't have to always be at each other's throats. Conflict sometimes good things can come out of conflict.
Yeah.
You don't let things get inside you and make you bubble over. You need to, go straight to it and learn from it.
Yeah.
And resolve it.
Definitely. Okay, brilliant. Right. If you'd like to have a little shake about, break state. And now finally, the last step is to go back as yourself again, Dina.
Hey.
Hello, Dina. How are you? Okay, so what we want you to do back as yourself, we want you to bring your new realizations and new learnings with you. Okay, so what did you learn? Taking on everyone's perspective, not just your own, everyone's that you've come back to play with. So what did you learn from what happened?
I learned that going forward, all working environments should monitor what's going on in their workplace before it gets to such extremes. Yeah. And I've learned that. Now, this was a long time ago it happened. It was like 12 years ago. And it wasn't quite, HR departments weren't quite as on the ball. But that's what I've learned, is that it should get nipped in the bud a lot quicker by having like an intermediary people to go to, and rather than it come straight home to mum.
Okay. How has your perception of the other person changed? So I know it's been hard to kind of try and see things from her point of view, but do you kind of have a little bit of, say, I don't know, you feel sorry for them a little bit and you kind of understand, like, everyone, even though they might not direct their stress out in the correct way, do you kind of see that maybe she was experiencing some stress as well, and perhaps just like show
I did have a little bit of empathy for her, yeah, but looking back now, she put my child through hell. No, I don't care what's happened to her. If she lost her job, then it was well deserved. If she went and got help, then absolutely fine. If she's not doing it anymore, then that's great. But I'll never forgive what she put my child through. No, that will never happen. But I hope she got the help she wanted or needed.
So you kind of like, even though you always, obviously, like, it was your child, you'll never be able to forget what happened. I'm just saying, like, you kind of understand that she was going through her own difficulties and she didn't express it in the right way. But everyone is, like, when you're in conflict with someone, you don't know what's going on in that person's life. So not that it excuses any type of behaviour or action, but it kind of opens up the eyes to see that maybe there is something underlining going on to make
yeah. I think that comes with maturity anyway. I think I'm always one of those people that says, in my workplace, so this person said this, and I'm thinking, well, maybe she's got something going on at home, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. I always like to think that there's a reason why somebody's personality changes. Yeah. Maybe they're not one to open up, and yet I'm quite good. I've got quite a good gut feeling. So now I think, as with maturity, you do always learn about people's feelings. And I've always brought my children up, don't ever say or do anything to anybody that you wouldn't want said or done to yourself.
Yeah.
Because then you're feeling the hurt that they're giving out. So no, I think there's always reasoning behind why people have a personality change suddenly.
Okay, so this situation isn't happening anymore, is it? So it was quite a long time in the past, you said. Okay. So basically, like, I don't know, do you think that, as you said before, sometimes you always think about how other people are feeling and what their home life, so even though this was a long time ago, maybe it's kind of enabled you to see that people do have their difficulties, and sometimes people do take them out in the wrong way. Not that it's excusable, but it does happen.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I know that from all my friends, family, colleagues. I can just tell by the tone of all their voices that something is wrong. So people can get nasty. As I just said earlier, somebody was nasty at work, rather than a youngster saying, oh, they're being horrible, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hold on a minute. There might be some reason why she's behaving like she's behaving.
Yeah.
I think that is, if it's suddenly a difference of personality that's come across really quickly, then that is nearly always the case. Whether it be financial, physical abuse, mental abuse, or whatever, there's a reason why people have personality changes.
Yeah. Okay, that's brilliant. So I think it's hard because you're not actually experiencing the conflict right now to see how it will like change in the future. See that you've always taken on board when you've worked with people. If you've seen a change of personality, like you said, maybe there is an underlying issue, and to kind of give people a little bit more space or not take things personally. So at least maybe that situation might have kind of helped the way that you are today with your dealings with people.
Oh, without a doubt. If people say things to me that hurt me, I won't retaliate there and then, because I know they're not in the right mood. It would cause conflict. So what I tend to do is wait until they're back to their normal selves and explain to them that they hurt my feelings by what they said 2 or 3 weeks ago or whenever it was. So rather than add fuel to the fire as it was then, I just try and be like, yeah, okay, that's fine. But I will never let that go. I will always remind somebody that they have hurt me or said something or done something which wasn't appropriate. And I will bring it up when they are back to their normal selves.
Yeah, that's right, because we always act on impulse. So tensions can get high, especially when we're in that moment and emotions are kind of flying. So it's always best to kind of speak to people when you're a bit more calmed down in your natural state and you can think about it logically. Okay, lovely. Well, it's been a lovely session today. It's been really nice. I think we've been able to kind of see things from different points of view. How do you feel?
Exhausted.
Yeah, it can be exhausting taking on different people's perspectives, but at least we kind of have come to the conclusion that everyone does have a different perception of reality, and even if someone has done something wrong, then maybe they're just, I don't know, acting on emotion, or something is actually going on with them that we don't know about. But yeah, are we booked in for next week?
Are we? Oh, I think so, yes, yeah.
Okay. Right, It's been lovely, Dina. I hope you have a lovely evening.
Nice evening. Bye.